Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fruitful Trees. And I have so many different types of fruit trees. I love collecting different types of fruit trees. But two trees, if you notice, you haven't seen on my property is longans and leaches. And when I first got this property, I had both of those trees, but I decided not to have those trees for several reasons. They get really big. There's some mites going around for the leaches, and just there's so many choices we need to make, and I still find it more of a snack than a real food. But the reason why I mention that, this is Pete, and Pete has an amazing lychee farm. Not too many people have had a chance to interview him. He's very busy. He's been doing it a long time, and I got a chance, an amazing opportunity to go and interview him, and I wanted to talk to him about how he got started growing fruit trees and really get the backstory of a farmer who's growing fruit trees for many, many years. And we were able to sit down and have a great conversation. Well, I appreciate your wisdom. Could we take a couple of minutes and just show us a couple of trees before we go?
Yeah, which ones you want to see?
Well, show us, maybe we'll look at your mangoes and avocados and
Mangoes. There's no mangoes around here.
okay. Well, whatever you think. Show us maybe a jackfruit and avocado.
Avocados. No good avocados around here.
Whatever
I
you
got
think.
jackfruit over here. If
Yeah,
you want to
show
see
us the
that.
jackfruit. So you said the variety of jackfruit you have was the main one was a Thai jack,
Super Thai.
super Thai. And what color is that inside?
Just a standard color. It's not red or anything like that.
I see a banana there. How do you do with bananas out here?
I used to do real good, but then they got the disease and I gave up on it.
What kind of banana is that?
That might be a ice cream, I think.
Okay, when you say they got the disease, what kind of disease? Is it a fungus?
All mangoes get all bananas get a disease, and the only way to get a good banana is to put this chemical that kills everything, including people, on them. And that's what they do in South America. That's where all your bananas come to the Publix and stuff. They've been treated with this chemical that kills people and kills workers and kills everything else in the sun, but it also kills the disease.
Well, I've seen people that have banana trees in their backyard for over 10 years with no problem.
They might not have gotten the disease. I used to grow, I used to sell like about 500 pounds of bananas every week. I had probably a line of what's line of maybe 300 feet of bananas growing back there, and I got 500
Different
pounds.
varieties or just one?
Just the ice cream,
Okay.
and that was a really popular variety.
Yeah.
And we still pick them. There's still trees back there, but they don't produce as much as they used
Okay.
to.
As you're speaking of chemicals, somebody told me this. Maybe you could say, you know, a lot of people say you got to keep the weeds away from the bark of the tree, and because it'll help the tree grow if you keep it empty around. Some people use mulch, but somebody recently was telling me you could put the toxic chemicals, weed killers, around the trees, and some of them are pretty toxic, but they said it doesn't get into the fruit. What's your opinion about that?
I bet it gets into the fruit.
You think it does?
Yeah, I've heard guys on YouTube's and telling you about how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you even get Roundup. If you use Roundup, once, and then 10 years later, you can still find it in the trees. They can, I mean, it's not real much, but they can still find traces of it in the trees.
Through testing?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't recommend putting Roundup around the trees, the fruit trees?
Use Roundup at all.
Yeah.
You're going to kill yourself with cancer with Roundup.
Exactly.
You're going
Okay.
to kill yourself driving a car too, because you get all that benzene out of it. There's so many pollutants around these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is my super Thai here. It's very fussy. It doesn't like to produce fruit except in summer.
In the summertime. Okay.
We've
Now,
had
these are tall jackfruits. Can you keep them shorter or not as wide, or they must grow high and wide?
it's better to shorten them, but I just don't have time to shorten them all the time.
Got you. Okay, there's a few up there. That one's loaded. That tree's loaded. That one over there.
Yeah, that variety over there is a bad variety, so I want to cut it down, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Is that a seedling?
No, it's a grafted variety.
What variety? Hopefully you remember, so people don't get it.
I think it's My 2 or something like that.
My 2? Not My 1, My 2.
No, I think it's My 2. Yeah.
Okay.
but
Oh,
it's impossible to ripen. I put I watched the fruit on there, waiting for it to get ripe, and I thought it was getting ripe, and it wasn't ripe. And finally, when I thought it was ripe, cut it open, and it was dried up.
wow, wow.
So I gave up on it.
All right, so you like this one though?
Yeah, this one's really nice. It's really good tasting, and the black gold is pretty good too.
Yeah, black. Now, is the Thai one a soft one or a hard one? Crunchy one.
It's kind of semi crunchy.
And the black gold is a soft one.
Yeah, it's a softer one than the other ones.
Well, you have a lot of nice black gold on this tree.
Yeah, they just started to. It's got its own time frame too, just like the super Thai. It only does it certain times of the year. Some of these other ones will have fruit on year round,
Oh, really?
but these two are kind of well. It could be also because of the watering system. These are on the same watering system as lychees, so we don't give them very much water certain times of the year, and that's probably why it doesn't produce fruit year round.
Interesting.
If you
So
give
the
it
water makes a
if you give it
difference.
water year round, you can get more fruit.
Okay. And the leaches, you don't give water year round?
You're not supposed to give water year round, but I
Sure.
do. I cut it back to like 4 minutes in the fall,
Sure.
because if you don't give it, if it's a real dry time of the year and you don't give it a little any water, the tree's going to die. And I can't go and watch every tree, so I make sure that they get 4 minutes of it.
Better to keep it alive.
So
Yeah.
it's got to keep alive. It'll 4 minutes won't get it to start growing. That's what you don't want. You don't want it to start growing at the wrong time of the year, because if once it grows and it doesn't produce fruit, because it's the wrong time of the year, when it gets time to produce fruit, it won't start flowering again, because it has to go in these cycles. It has to grow for a while, calm down, grow for a while, calm down. But if you're in a calm down state when it's supposed to be spiking the flowers out, it's not going to spike the
Got
flowers out
you.
because
Got
you've
you.
gotten the wrong season.
Wow. And this a seedling, this tree?
This one, yeah, this is a seedling.
So this one looks like it's tall and skinny. So you said you would agree like seedlings tend to grow more straight and skinny?
Yeah, but usually we cut the tops off so they don't do that
Get
thing.
too high.
Yeah,
So which one is this? Just a regular seedling?
yeah,
And your seedlings are pretty amazing, huh?
yeah, yeah. They're usually
Wow.
pretty good. They're usually came from this super Thai.
You don't name the seedlings like
Nah,
Pete's?
I tried it, but then I got all confused because I have like about 200 trees,
Sure,
and it's
sure,
too hard to keep track of them.
sure. Have you ever gotten a seedling that you were like, this is just garbage. I gotta cut it out or top work it?
Um, yeah, yeah. I
You've
got
had some.
one at the other place that I've cut off down to the ground twice. One time the hurricane came through and wiped it out, and it came back up again. And
Wow,
then last year I told my guys, cut it off. I don't like it. They cut it off, but it's growing back up again. So they're
wow.
impossible to kill, I think,
Yeah,
unless you
well,
get a root grinder or something, a stump grinder.
yeah.
But I don't have a stump grinder.
And what's the number one thing you would tell people to avoid if they want to grow fruit trees successfully?
Swampy areas.
Swampy areas.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone take your fruit here, like break in and steal your fruit ever, or you haven't had that issue?
Um, I've had a couple times where people did it. Yeah, not lately, but 3 or 4 years ago, people came and stole some. Um, somebody, the other place I had somebody living there, and they said somebody was there at middle of the night with the shining lights and taking fruit.
Wow.
But they didn't call me, and I didn't want to go chase after them anyway.
How about like rodents and raccoons? Do they mess with your fruit a
Oh
lot?
yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Raccoons really, but actually, a lot of times the raccoons are beneficial because we don't check the fruit every day, and so then when we see that the raccoons are eating the fruit, we know it's time to start picking. So
Oh,
so they're, but sometimes they eat too much and they're too much of a problem. So
yeah.
it's
Do you do anything about it or no?
we trap some sometimes, but not too much anymore. like when I mean, with all these lychees this year, we're not going to bother with the raccoons. I mean, there's so many lychees we're going to have this year that
You'll have enough for both of you.
right. And
Very
then
nice.
when we have a slow season, the fruit's at the top of the trees, and so the raccoons are having trouble getting it anyway.
Yeah,
So the raccoons are that much trouble with the lychees. They're more trouble like for sapodillos. They're a big problem because they like to go and peck and taste each one, and they don't taste good because they're not ripe yet.
I
And
see.
so they put holes in them. And so we don't like to sell them to stores with holes in it.
Yeah. So when you moved out, it was just empty land?
Well, this place we bought,
Oh, this place
it
already.
was
So
already
these trees
planted.
are older than 25 years.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
But you put the jackfruits in.
yeah. The jackfruits weren't here. Well, there was 2 jackfruits, but I didn't like the variety, and I killed them all.
Uh
I
huh.
think they were my ones.
Uh huh. So you don't like the my one or my two?
No,
And some of these trees, these old, what are these, pine trees?
yeah.
So you left some here?
Well, they were here when I came, but at the other place, I left pine trees too. So lychees don't like to grow near pine trees, but longans. Here's a longan over here, right among the pine trees. In some years, it produces more fruit than any of the other ones.
Wow. Now I see you don't take care of the weeds. You got a road here, but you don't take
Yeah,
care of the weeds too much there. Is that just because you haven't got to it, or that is there a special growing technique that you don't?
there's no sense. Weeds actually, according to some people, they say that the weeds is like a ground cover, and they say that what they do is they actually put nutrients back in the soil to help the trees out. And I haven't. I used to put mulch around them all over the place, and I get more fruit now than I did when I put the mulch around the
Oh, that you
trees.
let the weeds grow, you get more fruit.
Yeah.
Wow. For all fruit, you find that to be true, or some trees it's better to
Well,
take
I
care of?
haven't noticed it because all the trees are now we let the weeds grow around everything now.
Oh, wow. And how many years have you been doing that for?
Probably 5 or
And it's
6 years.
easier too, right?
Yeah, I don't have to pay somebody to go
So
weed it.
when you trim the trees, you just let the leaves fall right near the tree and just leave them there?
Yep,
Very
good
nice.
mulch,
Yeah.
and it's
Now, does that go against what you just said? Because the mulch will kill the weeds.
well, yeah, but the weeds that was just done this winter, so that the weeds don't grow very well in winter.
Okay.
So if you come back next year, that's going to be all full of weeds.
Okay.
And we found out that this variety here of weeds, I don't know what the name of it is, but it grows like crazy, and it gets yellow flowers. I think it's I think it's invasive, but I tried to find out the name of it, but it looked like it was invasive.
Uh-huh.
But it grows so well. It doesn't get that big, and it grows big. And so some of these big, I don't know if there's any. See, like those big weeds over there,
Yeah.
it crowds them out. So they're not growing here. Those big weeds are a problem. Those cause me a lot of problems because
The
they get
ones
too
in the
big.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're a sugarcane variety, and they cause all kinds of problems, and I have trouble controlling those. But once these guys get in here, those sugarcane seedlings don't mess with them anymore.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, this is amazing. Thank you so much for showing us around. Any other tree you want to show us before we finish here?
Um, there's
Yes.
nothing else here. I got
Okay.
a egg fruit in front, but it doesn't have any fruit
So
on
you
it.
do egg fruit out here as well. What
Yeah.
variety?
I had starts with a B, Bengal or something like that. I have a
Is,
couple of them.
is it Bruce?
Brewster,
No,
maybe that's what
Brewster.
it's Brewster. Yeah,
Not Bruce Star. Bruce.
yeah, it's a Bruce something.
Okay.
But I have a couple of those, but they don't do as good as the seedlings that
Oh,
I
really? You got
growing.
seedling egg fruit.
Yeah,
Okay.
the seedling, and they get just as big, and they might not taste as good, but I haven't tasted compared to the taste of them. But I give them so much nutrients and stuff. I think the nutrients make them taste better than it, having a good variety.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, this is very impressive here, and thank you for having us come out. And Pete's a wholesaler, so uh, if there are wholesale stores that want to get in touch with you, are you online? So how could wholesalers contact you if they want fruit? I know you're on. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah, we have Facebook pages.
Okay.
Lychee Fruit Store.
Okay. So
Look up under Lychee Fruit Store, and you can probably find. Yeah, you can go and just do a scan on Lychee Fruit Store and find.
could
out
I
the
put a
information.
link below? I have the link. Can I put it below the video in the description for people that have stores and want to buy fruit wholesale from you?
Yeah, for whatever.
Okay. But everybody, no retail, so don't try to contact them for retail.
Well, they can contact me. It's we just don't advertise it, and because we we have limited hours. Like we only open from 1 to 3 during lychee season.
So if somebody wanted to buy retail, would you sell to them or?
Yeah, if we're here, but they have to let us know that.
Okay,
they're coming.
so anyone that wants to contact you, the Facebook link is the best way.
Right.
Okay, great. Very good, Pete. Anything else you want to share about growing fruit trees or anything before we finish?
No.
All right. Well, thank you so much. All right, everybody. That was Pete. I'm a Lychee Farm. Amazing, cool guy. And thank you, Pete, for coming on the show. And everybody, thanks for watching. Have a great day and keep growing.